The top technology innovations, according to a list from the U.S. Library of Congress, include the wheel, the nail, the printing press, the light bulb, internal combustion engine, and the telephone. And if you were to add social innovation, you would include language, farming, legal systems, the alphabet, and money. Through the ages, money's been measured by a lot of things: livestock, shells, salt, tools, silver, gold, paper, and even zeros and ones zipping across global networks. But what exactly is money? Instead of giving you a boring Investopedia definition, I decided to go to some experts.
Money is something you pay for, pay with.
Pay for your stuff.
And it has 10, 9, or any number on it.
Something you use to buy things at the store, like toys and furniture and food with.
It's a good source of stuff to buy things.
A source of power for people. The bank. The bank.
It comes from paper.
And paper is made from trees, so it should be
Trees.
If you have an allowance from your parents or from
Doing jobs.
The government. When they make it using compactors.
A factory.
Money trucks. Money's fun, and you can have money when you're a kid sometimes. You can buy almost whatever you want if you have enough money.
it's kind of easy to use. It's just like either a piece of paper or like a card.
You get to buy whatever you want.
You get to buy stuff.
You get to spend it on something. You get to spend it on fun things.
You can buy a house, and I really like houses of their design.
Chucking it in the air.
The reason there's so many definitions of money is, if you think about it, money is really an amplification of our hopes, our dreams, our fears, and our desires. And these strong emotions about money have driven a ton of creativity throughout history. And I would argue that innovation in money has always been about portability, security, and utility. I want my money with me all the time. Wherever I go, I want it to be portable. I worry about losing my money. I worry about my money getting stolen. I want security for my money. And I want to use my money for whatever I want to use it for, any range of goods and services. I want it to have utility. Portability, security, and utility of an item that is so deeply connected to our identity has caused a ton of mutations over thousands of years. And I believe that the winners in the competitive market for financial technology will be those individuals and firms that understand these three innovations from the customer's point of view. It's been often said that history doesn't repeat, but it does rhyme. And so let's look at a few stanzas from the past to see what maybe it can tell us about the future. For many civilizations, money was measured in a physical form, and this was a barrier to portability. There was always a desire to find a medium that weighed less but still conveyed a ton of value. And more than 1,000 years ago, in parts of China, people used bronze coins for currency. But in the Sichuan province, there was no bronze. So they had to use iron coins, and this was not convenient. For example, it took 1.5 pounds of iron coins to buy a pound of salt. But there happened to be a merchant in Sichuan who had an idea. And his idea was to let people leave their coins with him in exchange for a paper receipt, kind of like a coat check claim ticket, if you will. Soon, people started exchanging their paper receipts for goods and services, and this is an example of an early innovation in portability. Further evolutions in portability include the first drive-up teller at the Grand National Bank in St. Louis in 1930. Bank of America had something they called the Fresno Drop, first 60,000 credit cards that were ever dropped on a city. Barclays introduced the first ATM in 1967, and Stanford Federal Credit Union became the first financial institution to offer internet banking in 1994. Alkami was born out of a desire to improve the portability of money. It's why we're passionate about delivering a user experience that, based upon independent mobile app store ratings, is one of the best in the market. And in a few weeks, you will see the latest generation of that user experience. It's designed to match your desire to put a digital branch in your customer's pocket. And we've done so with an eye towards maintaining your brand identity, to build deeper loyalty, higher engagement, and more share of wallet. My first memory of seeing a lot of money came from Scrooge McDuck. Remember Scrooge? Scrooge, if you remember Scrooge, he was Donald's penny-pinching uncle who shined shoes and was digging for gold in the Klondike, which led to a legacy of mines, mills, and $1 billion wealth. In fact, in 2017, Forbes pegged his wealth at $65.4 billion, which cemented him in the number 2 spot, ahead of Smaug, the dragon, in The Hobbit, but below T'Challa, the king of Wakanda, on the list of fictional wealth. This is what I remember about Scrooge. He protected his fortune in a giant money bin filled with gold coins. And at some level, we can all relate to Uncle Scrooge being worried about losing his money. For example, in that same province in Sichuan, some merchants realized they didn't have to have stored iron coins to trade in paper receipts. A forged IOU would do just fine until the recipient discovered it was worthless. To combat a faulty IOU, people want to trust the person handing them the IOU. They want to know that the person is authentic. And an early innovation in authenticating a person actually dates back to ancient Egypt. The signet ring, the seal of the Pharaoh, even mentioned in the book of Genesis. Removing his signet ring from his hand, Pharaoh put it on Joseph's hand. By medieval times, most members of nobility wore a signet ring, and it was the only way to authenticate a transaction. And if you think about it, many techniques that we have today are really just a digital signet ring. But in addition to trusting the person, you have to protect the asset. Sutton's Law, which states when solving a problem you should look for the obvious answer, was named after Willie Sutton, who, when asked why he robbed banks, said, well, because that's where the money is. Back in Willie's day, it took physical security to protect the money. How many of y'all have yelled shotgun running to your friend's car hoping to get a front seat? I have, but most of us don't recall that in the 1860s, Wells Fargo assigned shotgun messengers who rode next to the stagecoach driver to guard the money. And if you think about it, that shotgun messenger was an innovation to protect money. But today, nobody's attacking a stagecoach. Instead, Willie's using a string of code to hack into accounts from the comfort of his parents' basement. Since our founding, Alkami has been riding shotgun with you. We're focused on providing security innovations to help you to protect your institutions and your customers from Willie. Our security partnerships range from machine learning to behavioral heuristics, biometric security, hard and soft security tokens, and digital authentication of users. In fact, our acquisition of ACH Alert demonstrates our commitment to providing you products with security in mind. Over the last 12 months alone, we've monitored over $300 billion of ACH check and wire transfers. and account holders have stopped $1.5 billion in fraud without financial institution intervention. In a rural village in Kenya, a woman sets out to do her food shopping for the day, but she needs cash before she heads to the market, and the nearest bank would be several days' walk. So instead, she takes out her phone and she texts a password and a request for money. A few minutes later, she meets a woman with a cell phone and receives cash from her, all through a service called M-Pesa. M-Pesa is a mobile phone-based fintech company out of Kenya. It was launched in 2007, and it started just as a simple method for texting small payments between users. Today, 72% of Kenya has a mobile money account. The service is now in Tanzania, Mozambique, and 6 other countries, and it's grown into a range of financial services with 50 million monthly active users. It's the largest fintech platform in Africa. But more importantly, M-Pesa serves us as a reminder of how the future can change when people can use money. A study found that if a family in Kenya lived closer to a mobile money agent in 2007, they ended up less likely to live in poverty. It turns out when you give people the ability to use money, it can improve their lives and their communities. From our inception, Alkami has been committed to the regional and community financial institutions that serve as the economic backbone of our communities. We've seen the power that's unlocked when consumers and businesses can deposit money and access credit in an always-on digital world. It's why we acquired MK Decision, now known as Alkami Ignite, which is our digital account opening and loan origination solution. Alkami Ignite provides seamless onboarding and a frictionless experience for your users to open deposits or credit accounts. It's just one example of how we want to help you expand the utility of money for your customers. At Alkami, we believe that innovation will always change money. And we believe that much of that innovation will be driven by a desire for portability, security, and utility. And we are inspired. We're inspired to both lead and adopt innovation because we believe that money can be a source of great hope for the people that we jointly serve.
People, training,
debt-free,
our child's education,
my family's security.
I want to set up a company that does the right thing for the right reasons and that lasts.
You're just setting that child up to be in a better position when they graduate, be debt-free and in a better place to move forward, with their lives.
I am focused first on my husband and I's retirement. So we want to make sure that we're maxing out all our accounts that we can possibly. And then second, our child's education.
When thinking about investing for the future of my small business, I focus on people and training and building the relationships that are the basis of what I'm doing.
Be able to live comfortably and be able to go on vacation and travel and things like that once I'm older and not having to work.
Being able to have financial freedom is really important to me. Not have to worry about living paycheck to paycheck makes me excited to look to the future too.
Satisfaction for our employees to work in an area where they can not only look at our business as a career path for them, but also work satisfaction.
Investing for my security, but I think a larger part of it is my family's security. I think that for me is the crux of why investing is such an important aspect of my financial picture.
Together, we're serving more than 12 million consumers and businesses with their own hopes and dreams. For us to serve these people well, Alkami must continue to create a digital banking platform that allows you to rapidly deploy innovation, and this allows you to create a modern, end-to-end digital experience and thrive in an incredibly dynamic market. But the only way we can continue to be your desired digital banking platform is if we're driven by the right set of beliefs. One of the things that I've always believed is that in life and in business, your experiences create your beliefs generate your actions, and your actions end up creating your results. And our experiences serving millions of digital banking users for over a decade has shaped Alkami's basic beliefs. First, the best product wins. We will continue to make significant investments in product development. In fact, in this year alone, we'll spend over $50 million making sure that you have the technology you need to succeed. Alkami is one of those rare software companies that spends more money on product development than we do on marketing and sales. And one of the areas where we'll increase investment is the underlying platform. What you've told us is that you appreciate the application functionality that we deploy, but you need us to increase the ease and speed for you to integrate your ideas into Alkami and integrate Alkami into the rest of your infrastructure. Second, culture eats strategy. Core to our culture is for us to listen to the customer, and we've only ever had any success because we try to receive your input and make changes. For example, you've told us that you appreciate the progress we've made in quality from a bug count perspective, but we have to look at quality from your point of view. And we have to improve the way that we do end-to-end testing, and we have to reduce the burden that you feel when you take on a new release. Third, user experience is a discipline. The design philosophy that we have runs deep in our company, and we've always deployed these principles to create a great retail and small business experience. Over the last couple years, and with increased investment in the future, we're going to now deploy that philosophy to create the best commercial banking application on the market. Fourth, insights are the next frontier. Being able to communicate with targeted and relevant messages and offers is becoming a primary differentiator for you to attract and retain your members and customers. This is why we acquired Segment, which is a marketing data platform for consumer-centric financial institutions. Later in the day, Stephen Bohannon will go into more detail about why we are so excited about Segment, both in terms of the capabilities that it provides for you right now and the potential for Segment plus Alkami in the future. And finally, innovation is a team sport. We embrace innovation from wherever it may originate, whether that's the products we create, the companies with whom we partner, or maybe the acquisitions that we make. And you should expect to continue to see us bring technologies like ACH Alert, Alkami Ignite, and Segment into the Alkami family. We hope to stay true to these beliefs, and we ask for and are grateful when you hold us accountable to the beliefs that we say are important to us. You know, the story of money is a story of great innovation and great collaboration, and together we're part of this story. One of the things I believed is a lot of companies set goals, but few companies commit to living a great story. And so on behalf of almost 800 alchemists and our business partners, I want to thank you for letting us be part of the story that you're writing. And thank you for being part of the Alkami community.